This is big breaking news. A FBI special agent is now warning that a quote switch could be flipped very soon, changing our society and changing our food supply, our supply chain, everything in an instant. And this switch is getting closer and closer every single day, and the attacks are ramping up every day. And now we even have government insiders who are seeing these attacks, and they are getting worried, and they are warning the public that these attacks are going to get a lot worse, and they are going to continue for a period of time. And we can even see this here, all right? This is news that just came out today too. EU countries approve plan to transfer 1 million shells to Ukraine within the next 12 months. So these threats are not going to go away. These plans are not going away. There's not going to be a magic solution. And governments around the world are anticipating things to escalate even over the next 12 months. And this FBI special agent is now warning that things are going to get a lot worse too. And we can see it's not going to get better, at least for 12 more months. We've seen top generals warn that by 2024, 2025, we will be at war with China as well over Taiwan. They are itching for a massive world war, and they are pushing us closer to it every single day. There's also been depleted uranium that has been approved to be sent over to Ukraine from the UK as well. And Russia is saying they, quote, will respond if the UK supplies depleted uranium artillery shells to this country. All right, so things are escalating. It's not de-escalating. The US just approved $350 million for another weapons package to be sent over there as well. This is not de-escalating. It's going to get a lot worse, and we're going to see the U.S. and the West be hit directly as well. We can't just have massive bombs being dropped over the West. It's too obvious. But if we have cyber attacks, if we have supply chain attacks, if we have massive factory explosions, if we have environmental disasters, if we have this covert war going on behind the scenes, then they can operate without the public really knowing what's going on. And this FBI agent is even warning that a, quote, switch could be flipped. All right, so let's get into what he's warning of. I just wanted to give an update here because they're saying this is going to go on for at least 12 more months. These threats are not going to go away, and they're sending more. Now they're sending more advanced weaponry, depleted uranium, which can penetrate armor and which also has devastating effects on the user and the target. All right, so it's not even good for the forces that are being sent this DU. It affects them as well. The people that are firing the DU get exposed to the uranium dust, and they are subject to cancer and illnesses as well. So this is a lose-lose, and the environment gets polluted with uranium. So it's a lose-lose all around, and these attacks are not going to go away. So let's get into what this FBI special agent is warning of, and then we will get into more attacks on our hospitals, on our banks, on our food supply. We will get into all that. We will get into digital currencies being pushed. The banking crisis is not going away. We will cover all this news after we dive into what this FBI special agent is warning us of. So let's dive into what he said. He's warning that a, quote, switch could be flipped and alter our entire society, because this is the basis of our society, and this is a national security threat as well. So he said, quote, there are countries and individuals that also seek to potentially target the United States through its critical infrastructure for cyber terrorism or other avenues that actually turn off the switch. Not only turning off the switch on the power or water, but obviously are disrupting the food supply or make people disrupting it. Getting all that food to the table, cyber attacks can disable that chain anywhere along the line, transportation, on the farm, or all the different devices that are used, all of which need to be protected. Byron Franz, special agents. So just to go over that again, he warned that they could turn off the switch, not only turn off the switch to the power or the water, all right, how many attacks have we seen on our transmission towers, on our substations? How many attacks have we seen just in the past few months where tens of thousands of people have had their power out? How many attacks on our water supply and food supply have we seen? Just look at Ohio, right? The EPA just announced that there's hundreds of levels higher of dioxins that are in the soil and in the environment than are allowed for cancer levels, all right? Hundreds of levels higher than the cancer levels for dioxins are in the environment in Ohio, and the EPA is admitting this right now. These attacks are already happening, and it's true. They can just switch off the power. They can switch off the water, and we are very vulnerable if these attacks happen. And that's why I want to start with this, because this situation is not going to clear up for at least 12 more months. We could have real cyber attacks. China and Russia has very advanced cyber capabilities, or this could be the excuse to have cyber attacks on the United States and to shut down our critical infrastructure, shut down our banking infrastructure, shut down the power, shut down the water. And now he's even saying the food supply itself could be disrupted from cyber attacks at any moment. And he's completely true. The trucks that are transporting the food, their delivery systems could have a cyber attack and they're not able to transport their food to the correct locations. All right. This could happen anywhere. This could happen in the field. And I made a video even last week how this is happening. All right. Hundreds of farms have been shut down from cyber attacks. And now the FBI is even warning that this is going to get a lot worse. So this is an article that's coming out. It's coming out of RFD TV. And it says FBI cyber threats are targeting ag because it's a critical infrastructure. This is from March 14, 2023. And he also gave some more warnings here. He said other criminals know there will be a payout to restore any hijacked services dealing with agribusinesses. An FBI special agent explains why farms are at risk. And we're going to cover hospitals are at risk, banks, all this other stuff too, we're going to get to in just a second, are being cyber attacked as well. And this is a plan. This is a goal. It all works together. This massive war, this banking collapse, this economic collapse, the central banking digital currency, the mark of the beast, the one world government, all of these things are colliding together at once. And they're going to use all of these events to implement their agenda, all right? Let's get into this warning some more. He said, quote, people eating is critical to every day. And I can tell you that the cyber threat actors are increasingly targeting food and agricultural businesses in the United States because they know that the likelihood of the payout is greater because it's so critical. It's a critical infrastructure, and it's gotten worse because the attack surface continues to grow with the use on farms and so on. The Internet of Things devices, IoT devices, and all segments of their work, said Special Agent Byron France with the Milwaukee division of the FBI. Over the last several years, we have seen cases of cyber attacks on international trading firms, meat packers, and regional grain cooperatives. It is why Special Agent France says agricultural operations of any size could be at risk. So this is huge. They want to shut down our food supply, and this is a giant card that they have to implement it. This is why you have to be able to grow food. These skills are going to be so valuable when a big event like this happens. And this is why you need to have books, all right? Even if you can't absorb all these skills right now, because farming is very nuanced, growing food is very nuanced. It takes years to really understand what's going on with your plants and animals. But if you have books that can guide you when the internet is down, when certain critical infrastructures are down, you will still have the knowledge to grow food and get chickens right now. All right. I've been feeding my chickens just scraps from the kitchen for the past week and from the pantry, just old stuff from the pantry because we've been sick. That's why I didn't post the past few days. The whole family's been sick, so we haven't want to go anywhere. So I've been out of chicken food. but I've just been feeding them scraps, and they've been thriving on these scraps. Chickens are very resourceful, and they can turn literal waste. Everything we've given them is just waste that would have went in the trash can anyways. And we're getting eggs. We're turning that waste into eggs. All right. I do this experiment a lot, but I do it especially when I'm low on grain feed and I'm sick or something, or I don't want to go to the store. I'll just feed them scraps, all right? And chickens are very resourceful, and they can turn your trash into protein, all right? These are going to be critical systems for you surviving if a big event like this happens, if the water turns off, if the power turns off, if the agricultural sector is hit. What if a massive meat packer, like he's warning, a regional meat packer, Tyson, is hit, something along these lines? Look at this Tyson news. All right, this reminded me of Tyson. Tyson Foods is already laying off 1,700 workers and closing 2 of their main chicken plants. All right, so what if a massive cyber attack hits Tyson? They're already closing down and shutting down and firing 1,700 people. Good luck getting chicken. Good luck getting eggs. And this is going to continue. This is a pattern. We saw a massive boom. We saw all of the mega corporations use our money that they were given for free to buy up all the other companies and to outclass all of the other companies. And they had to shut down 60% of the companies that had to shut down the past few years never reopened, and all of that capital, all of that money got absorbed by these massive companies, and now they are collapsing too. Just like Walmarts are closing all over the place. They completely pulled out of Portland, Oregon because of crime. All right. So they absorbed all of these small businesses the past few years, shut them all down. They weren't even allowed to operate. Only Walmart could be open. And now Walmart's not even there. Just like Tyson, all of these meat packers got shut down over the past few years. They didn't meet regulations, or there'd be this and that going on. I don't want to get too much into it. But this was a recurring story. Oh, this meat packer got shut down. Oh, this got shut down. This food processing plant got shut down the past few years over restrictions, and a lot of them never opened, and they got absorbed into Tyson. And now Tyson itself is collapsing. So everything's been centralized. They've absorbed all the small farms. They've absorbed all the small businesses. All the banks are being absorbed right now and centralized into the big banks so they can collapse it and have control over these companies. And the food is going to get scarce, all right? You should get chickens. You should get meat birds if you are comfortable with that. You can grow out a full meat bird in 8 weeks. All right, 8 weeks, and you can have a Cornish cross hen or male, all right, or rooster, and you can have that in 8 weeks. All right, and they're anywhere from 4 to 8 to 10 pounds within 8 weeks. Depends how much you feed them, how active they are, how much they're moving around, all these factors. But 8 weeks, and you can grow out your own meat birds. And within 4 to 6 months, you can have egg-laying hens from babies as well. So get chickens now. If you listened to me years ago, I remember reading comments from almost a year ago now, people saying, you inspired me to get chickens. And they probably have chickens that are a year old, and they're probably jamming. They're probably rocking, and they're thriving right now. All right, so enough of that. But this is happening, and this FBI special agent is warning that it could be a, quote, flip of the switch that we see with our critical infrastructure and see it turned off, because he sees what's going on. And a lot of our government is compartmentalized. There are groups, there are rogue groups, right? There are rogue groups in every single government. Our government has rogue groups, but there's compartmentalization. This guy could be somebody that's a good guy and just sees what's going on, and he says, hey, this is a major issue and we are under attack, and he doesn't want to see our food supply and our critical infrastructure be switched off. All right, that definitely could be what's happening. So we need to get prepared, because this is what's coming next. Look at what Lagarde from the EU is saying, the head of the EU. She's saying a digital euro has a key role in payment autonomy inside the EU. This is the key to everything. They want to use this war. They want to use this banking collapse. They've used the past few years of shutting down the economy, of infinite money printing. It's been a colossal attack that started in 2020. And they want to implement their agenda by 2030. And look at here. Look at the key notes here. This is coming out of Bloomberg, just posted today. Payment apps and cards aren't necessary, says the EU leader. The digital euro is intended to be safe, sovereign, and available. Absolutely insane. Payment apps and cards aren't necessary. So I don't understand what you even use. If you don't even use an app on your phone? What do you use then? What are they really planning? Or cards. So if you don't use a payment app on your phone or a card, what are you using to pay? Right? Soon it will be biometric data. They will scan your face to pay. This is already the model in China. Any business, any public transportation, any concert, anything like that, you are face scanned and your social credit score is ran and you are deemed a threat or not, and your face is scanned red or green, all right? And they determine if you are allowed in this area or not by biometric data. I reported on a grocery store in New York is already telling people that they are going to use your biometric data and scan your iris, which is a very personal thing. It's like your fingerprint. Would you consent to your fingerprint going to the store? Most likely not. But they're scanning your iris and your voice print as well. Absolutely insane. And that is what they're going to use for payments. Amazon already has this payment system where you pay with your palm. I made a whole video on it a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago now, where you scan your palm and everything, give them your palm, and it enters a database. And now at any Whole Foods or any of their stores or vendors, you can just scan your palm and and that's how you pay. And it's connected to your bank account. And there's no cards and no apps, just like she's saying. This is what they want. And soon this will lead to a Mark of the Beast world government system. They're already announcing it at the World Government Summit. Klaus Schwab already announced a, quote, black swan event. Remember that video I made last month at the World Government Summit. This is the key to it all. They want to have a one world government, and they want to have a one world currency, one world payment system, and everything you do is tracked, are traced, and certain groups are excluded from this system. We all know who that is. And this is accelerating. They're saying has a key role in payment autonomy. Payment apps and cards aren't necessary. Digital euro is intended to be safe, sovereign, and available. What are the odds that all of these agendas are pushed at the same time, that we have this on the background? We have this. We have depleted uranium. We have 12 months of artillery shells being sent to overseas over there. All right. What are the odds? All this stuff. And we have this FBI agent warning. We have the banking collapse. All right. We have this bank here. Look at this bank. This is one of the biggest banks in Australia. Latitude Financial warns customers data breach could widen and hack remains active. So hundreds of thousands of people have had their data breached and their accounts breached from this bank in Australia. Businesses have had their accounts breached, and they're saying this is going to cause a massive ripple effect across Australia. And what do they want? It's because all these things are happening right now because of this. That's why I always say these ransomware attacks, these cyber attacks are so dangerous. They could be coming from globalist groups that want to implement this agenda. There are people pushing this agenda, and then who would benefit from this? Why would a random group just want to do this? There are groups that want to take down this bank because they want to implement digital currencies. And these globalist groups, World Economic Forum, World Government Summit, could be paying other groups to implement their agenda. All right, this is very dangerous, the territory we are entering into. And it's all lining up. What are the odds that these agendas all line up at the same time? Digital currencies, massive cyber attacks, massive World War III news, massive electricity grid news. The grid could just be switched off. The food supply could be switched off. All of these warnings at the same exact time are not a coincidence. They are preparing for a massive event. And they have to set everything up. The globalists play chess with our world. All right. And we're able to disrupt some of their moves by exposing their moves, but they set up all the pieces before they move most of the time. And a lot of time they set up the pieces just to see how everyone will react in case they do it. And a lot of times they don't even do it because the reaction, they know they won't get away with it. All right. But they're setting up the pieces and they're ready to move very soon on something massive. And even top lawmakers inside the US are now sounding the alarm after there's been massive cyber attacks on hospitals all throughout the United States. This keeps happening and they keep shutting down their operations. They keep having to transfer patients to other hospitals because they can't perform critical operations when their systems are down. This is happening all over the US. I reported on a massive hospital in Orlando this happened to just last month. And this keeps happening. And this is a national security threat as well, that our critical infrastructure, one thing after another, just keeps getting shut down. We were told everything's so convenient, having it connected, having smart devices all connected to the internet, but it's also a massive vulnerability because it's now accessible from external forces. So you can see here, lawmakers are sounding the alarm after recent cyber attacks at hospitals. The impact of cybersecurity attacks on healthcare facilities is all too real and was laid out in the congressional hearing. Quote, a ransomware group stole confidential patient information, which included names, social security numbers, and medical information from a health center, Senator Josh Hawley said. Other situations were much more tragic, including a ransomware attack on a hospital in Alabama. Quote, the attack prevented healthcare providers from using equipment that monitors a baby's condition during delivery, and as a result, the infant tragically passed. All right, Senator Gary Peters said. This is absolutely insane and unacceptable that this is happening in the United States of America, and it's barely reported on. This should be national news. That should be national breaking news that this poor baby, all right, this poor baby here, this happened from a cyber attack. Absolutely insane. I'm getting chills here. I have 2 kids, and just imagining a kid being in danger from the result of a cyber attack in the United States is just, it's too real. It's too real, all right? I would rather have my entire life savings drained before something like that happens. That is just insane, all right, and devastating for that family. And it's barely even mentioned. And these cyber attacks are going to get worse and worse and cause more devastation to more people's lives. And it's what they want, because this, just going back to this is the key here. They want to make this cyberspace so insecure that everything has to be tracked and traced. Everything has to have the government inside of it, so it's safe and protected. All right, that's the key to everything, is to have even more digital vulnerability. Not that these digital cryptocurrencies, they can't be hacked or anything, but the key to them is to have even more digitization of our environment and of our society. And this is what they always do. They give us a problem. All right, this is a major problem, cyber attacks. We have a reaction, all right? We're having a reaction now. Lawmakers are sounding the alarm. Reaction time. Something's happening. And then they give us a solution. Here's your solution. Track and trace everything you do, and we will make sure it's safe. And if the government was protecting this hospital, then it would have been safe, all right? That's going to be the key to everything. And the government needs to control everything and trace everything to make sure you're not a criminal as well. And what are the odds that this bank, one of the biggest banks in Australia, gets hit right after this banking collapse? We saw these banking glitches at Wells Fargo. Remember banking glitch at Bank of America? Remember that as well? These incidents are going to increase more and more over at least the next 12 months. That's what we're being warned, at least the next 12 months. So make sure you guys are getting prepared. It is critical. All right, make sure you have chickens. Top 3 chicken breeds off the top of my head that I love. Black Australorp, number 1, best layer. Literally in the entire world, broke the egg laying record. Laid more than 1 egg every single day. All right, look up the record. Black Australorp broke the record. Super friendly, super docile, very smart, very cold hardy, and lays a ton of eggs. And just smart, nice chickens. All right, I had one that got attacked probably 6 months ago now. It was very sad. She was in a little cage. I had her separated to heal because she had some injuries from the other chicken. She's just an old chicken. The other ones were younger. I had her for like 7 years. All right, a long time. And I had her in a little like hamster cage right next to the coop just to keep her separated. And something came in the middle of the day in a fenced-in backyard. I had her in a fenced-in area and snatched her up out of this little cage. And she was gone. All right, very sad. I know it happens to chickens, but I had her for 7 years. She was like a pet to me. Her name was Kiwi. But Black Australorps, number 1 on the list. They are incredible. They're amazing layers. Also, Golden Wyandottes. All right, they're very good layers. They're very docile, very nice, very friendly. And they are also very cold hardy as well. If you live in a very cold environment, their combs are very small and they're good against frostbite. All right. Also, Rhode Island Reds are great. They don't have the best temperament, but they are very good layers. And a wild card for fun, Silkies. I love Silkies. I had a Silkie for years, and they're just fun. My kids love them. They're silly, nice, fluffy. They lay little tiny, cute little eggs. They're fun. If you have kids, get a Silkie for the kids. Make sure you get a girl one. The roosters are mean, but girl Silkies can be nice if you hold them from when they're little. You train them to be pets, essentially, all right, for people. So those are my top 4 chickens that I would recommend. Definitely Black Australorp, number 1 on the list. Best chicken out there, and they lay so many eggs. My chicken was 7 years old. She was still laying eggs all the time. Wasn't every single day, but just about every other day she was still laying eggs at 7 years old. So definitely a great investment as well, long-term investment for your chicken coop, all right, your chicken house, to have a Black Australorp around. So thank you guys so much for watching me. Thank you guys for supporting me. Make sure you are getting prepared. Make sure you are stocked up on seeds. Make sure you have a generator. Make sure you have gas cans. Make sure you have a water filter. Make sure you have batteries. Make sure you have food, obviously, 20-pound bag of rice, canned meat, canned vegetables. Make sure, I don't know if I said water filters. Have a little solar phone charger that you can buy at Walmart, a little collapsible solar charger for your phone in case it hits the fan. Have a pocket knife. Have paracord. Have rope, some kind of rope. All right. I'm just trying to think of all the things that are in my bug out bag that you should have to survive. Have fertilizer. Be stocked up on fertilizer. All these things are critical. Copper, silver, lead, gold, all these precious metals you should be stocked up on as well, because it's getting closer every day, guys, and these resources could become unavailable at any moment, right? Look at these banking collapses. They happen very quick. People woke up one day and they were not able to access their bank accounts or their money. It can happen. So have these resources now. Be prepared now, guys. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a big old blessed day.